Hello everyone, welcome back or welcome to Bookish Blonde. My name is Jen. I'm so glad that you are here today. Thank you for taking time out of your busy schedules to hear what I have to say about books. So it is the week of Valentine's Day, and I was just trying to come up with some fun ideas for what to film this month. And I thought, oh, you know what? I'm going to film a quick video about some authors that I love so much that I want to read them to zero. So as I was kind of doing my research, putting my thoughts down, kind of brainstorming what I wanted to say and who I wanted to talk about, I decided that this would be better to be at least 2 parts, maybe 3, depending on how long this video is. So in part 1, I am going to talk about 5 different authors that I have read to zero because I love them and I will read everything that they ever publish because I love them that much. I'm going to go a little bit deeper dive into why I love their books, what about their writing style, what do their books make me feel, how do they make me feel, kind of do a deeper dive into that. And then I'm going to go through all the authors that I would like to read to zero. And I don't mean this year or next year. I mean just as a life goal. These are authors that I have such good experiences, give their books such high ratings that I would like to read their entire backlist at some point in my life. Now those ones won't be as detailed, but I will go through and tell you how many they have published currently, how many I have read, how many I haven't read, and talk a little bit about why I like them as well. I am working currently on a spreadsheet of all my own books just for my own sanity, so I know what I have when I'm out shopping, those kinds of things. And I'm adding a tab about that will have all these authors on there. Again, just something fun for me to track. I love my stats. I love my tracking. And let's just get started. So part 1, the authors that I love so much, I have read them to zero. So we are going to talk about 5 authors. These are in no order. I just was looking at my shelves and writing down authors' names as I went. So some of them are alphabetical, but not really. And I will leave timestamps down below of the different authors I talk about so that if you don't want to watch this whole thing, or if there's only a certain author you're really interested in hearing my thoughts about, I will leave those down below. And I thought doing this little deeper dive into these authors would give you, as my subscribers, a little more additional insight to my reading taste. So if you are newer to my channel, I think this series will help you decide, do we like the same books? Am I a good source of recommendation for you guys? And just get to know me a little bit better. So, all right, I digress. Okay, so the first one I'm going to talk about is Megan Goldin. So she currently has 5 books out. And I have read all 5. I read her to zero in 2025. So her first book, her debut, came out in 2018. And that is a book called The Girl in Keller's Way. It definitely was a gripping debut. I gave it 4 stars. Then next came out was The Escape Room in 2019. This one is like a corporate workplace mystery, very claustrophobic feeling. I also gave that 4 stars. Then in 2022, she came out with Stay Awake. This is a psychological thriller. I gave it 5 stars. 2020, I did this out of order. That's okay. 2020 was The Night Swim. That's the first Rachel Kroll book. Gave that 5 stars. That's a true crime podcast element. I don't know. I think The Night Swim and Stay Awake are my 2 favorites by her. And then in 2023, Rachel Kroll number 2 was Dark Corners, and this is going to be, you're going to continue to look into that, crime, true crime, media exposure, dark side of fame, those kinds of things. Megan Goldin, her prose is so suspense driven and cinematic. I think any of her books would make great movies on screen. You usually get alternating viewpoints, which I really enjoy that in my thrillers. You get a very sharp and like immersive narrative with her writing. You always get a thoughtful but tense tone, emotionally filled. It's not just all like page turning thriller, fun ride with her. You're going to get a little bit more of character explorations, a little more emotional characters, which I appreciate. She's very smart at plotting her books out. She's very smart at plotting the twists and turns that come. Just the premises of her books are so engaging, and you'll be hooked in right away when you pick up one of her books. There's no upcoming releases by her right now, though, which is crazy to me and so sad. But hopefully that gives you a good idea about what Megan Goldin's books are going to feel like, what they're going to look like. If you haven't tried her out, please do. I obviously love her. Next, we're going to talk about Ashley Winstead. She has 8 books. Well, there's one coming out in July. And so that will be book number 8. So currently there's only 7 out, but later this year we'll get another mystery thriller from her. I have read her to 0 as of now. What I really appreciate about Ashley, and I know I had a video recently about me seeing her talk in person about The Future Saints, her newest book. So I won't go into too much detail, but she's a very genre fluid writer. She can write. She's written emotional, rich literary fiction with The Future Saints. She writes dark, gritty mystery thrillers that are heavy-hitting. And then she also can do a rom-com with, like, a political twist. And she does it all well. Like, her writing, her skill, you guys, it's so good. She always has a good, well-written protagonist. Always. She definitely is a character-first, character-driven storyteller, which I love. Her protagonists are often women that are navigating either a complex relationship, internal conflict, self-discovery, personal trauma. You get the gist there. You watch her characters make hard choices, messy choices. They feel raw and realistic and flawed. And then you watch them walk through those consequences. And she does such a good job with that. No matter which genre that you pick up by her, there's going to have an emotional core to it, 100%. The social comedy on her rom-coms were great. Commentary on her rom-coms were great. You're going to get themes of identity, human connection, trauma, power, different belief systems. I don't know. I mean, the overall vibes you're going to get with her obviously depends on what genre you pick up. But for the thrillers, they're going to be packed full of twists. They're going to be character driven. It's going to be suspenseful. It's going to be a mystery with high stakes. If it's a romance, you're going to have witty banter in it. You're going to get strong layered plotting, emotional depth, more complexity from a mystery thriller than you think you're going to get. Her debut was In My Dreams I Hold a Knife. I gave it 5 stars. It came out in 2021, and this is a group of friends, dynamic long-term friends. There is a murder on college campus. That's basically what that one's about. And then the next one that she published was a romance. It was called Fool Me Once. I did give this one 4 stars. This one's going to be a second chance romance with a little bit of politics in it, like I mentioned. Then she came out with The Last Housewife, gave that 5 stars. That's about a sex cult, about manipulation, injustice, betrayal. So good. One of my favorites. Then in 2023, she came out with another thriller called Midnight is the Darkest Hour. I did give that one 4 stars, and I don't remember exactly why, but that's what Goodreads says. And this one, you're going to get like a gothic, southern, small town feel with some religious trauma. And then in 2023, she came out with Boyfriend Candidate. This was my least favorite by hers. I still gave it a 3 star. So if you're into, I don't really like a lot of politics in my romance. So that's kind of where I lost it. But it's a decent rom-com. You get modern dating in there, political ambition. The chemistry was off the charts. Chemistry was really good in that one. But that was my lowest rated one. And then 2025, she came out with This Book Will Bury Me. And there's going to be a true crime aspect culture in this one. Obsession. This one's definitely dark, very dark elements, psychological thriller, but 5 stars once again. And then The Future Saints, which I have talked about a lot recently, 5 stars, music, grief, fame, reinvention, found family, all the things in that one. And then in July 2026, we're going to get Hot Girl Murder Club. And this one says, pop star turned murder subject, takes place in Hollywood, and we have a cold case. That's all I want to know going in. I'm sure I'm going to give it 5 stars. I'll be shocked if I don't. But Ashley Winstead, you're amazing. You guys need to pick her up for sure. Next author I have read to zero. It's only 3 books, but that's okay. Her first one came out in 2021, and that is Tracey Lange. You're going to get a very general contemporary fiction with her, but oh my gosh, I have cried reading 2 out of these 3 books. I gave them 2 5 stars and 1 4 star. So the first one, I read them in publication order, was called We Are the Brennans. This is a return home. I remember the chapter transitions in this book just being so well done and unique and just really cool. You just have to read it to experience it. But we get an Irish Catholic family torn apart by secrets in this one. And it's so hard-hitting and so realistic. And her characters and her family dynamics are just amazing. She's just amazing. The next one she came out with was Colonies of County Down. This is my least favorite by her. Gave it 4 stars, but it was still such a solid novel. And you're going to get a return home again, complicated love, family bonds, that kind of thing. And then 2025, her most recent one, What Happened to the McCraes. This is my favorite one. Although We Are the Brennans, it was hard to decide between that. But I'm going with What Happened to the McCraes. I did read that one obviously most recently. But this one had me sobbing. The emotional upheaval in this one. You have a small town hockey-centered middle school hockey coach in this. You have a failed marriage. You have an ex-husband and wife that need to confront the worst trauma you could ever imagine. A little bit of a second chance romance in there. But her books are contemporary fiction. Contemporary, almost literary almost, but in all the good ways. It's just, I love the adult characters. They talk to each other. It definitely has emotional depth in her books. But yeah, contemporary literary fiction rooted in family dynamics. You also get like themes of identity and emotional complexity, resilience, the messiness of human connection, personal transformation. Her writing tones of her book are very character driven, but like I said, very raw and realistic and very introspective. These books really make you think. And I love her nuanced characters, and I feel like her books just feel so intimate and such lived in stories. I don't know if that explains it. But if you haven't heard of Tracey Lange, haven't picked her up, I wouldn't be surprised because she's only has 3 books out and she's only been around for a few years. But if you have not tried her, you are missing out 100%. So please pick up a Tracey Lange. All right, next we're going to talk about Rachel Hawkins. Have adult thrillers. That's the only ones I want to read to zero. Rachel Hawkins has writes under a pen name called Erin Sterling. I have read one by her. Those are more romance centered. And then she has quite a backlist, I believe, of like middle grade or young adult. So I'm not going to stress too much about those. I'm just going to talk about her adult thrillers. There are 5. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, she has 5 out. One just got released in January of this year, and it came on up on my hold for my audiobook for my library. So I actually currently am just starting this book, so I still haven't read it, but I basically read her to zero because I'm currently starting The Storm by her. But with her mystery thrillers, you're going to get a lot of twisty, character-driven mysteries, gothic suspense, psychological intrigue. They're going to be very atmospheric. And I know Rachel Hawkins doesn't work for everyone, but I have given everything 4 or 5 stars. My least favorite by her is Reckless Girls. It's a 3 star. So take that out of it. I didn't care for that one, which I'll get to in a minute. But I don't know. Her characters' inner dialogue make me laugh and just resonate with me so much. I love her main protagonist. In 2021, her first release was The Wife Upstairs. This is a gothic thriller, kind of a Jane Eyre inspired retelling. You have an unreliable narrator in there, Southern charm, domestic suspense, and I gave it 4.5 stars. Loved it. Then I picked up Reckless Girls by her, and this is my least favorite. Like I said, you have a remote island setting in the South Pacific. I just felt it was ridiculous. It was such a slow burn, so much action packed into the last fourth of the book. None of it was believable. I was rolling my eyes the whole time. I hated the ending. Kind of Agatha Christie-esque in certain ways. But now that I'm thinking about it, I probably should have given it a 2 stars. I just didn't like it. Then The Villa by her. This one's so atmospheric. You have 2 timelines in this one. I was engaged with both timelines. I feel like this is her least or lowest rated book, but I gave it 5. It really worked for me and I loved it. You have an Italian villa with a dark history. You have definitely has a Fleetwood Mac vibe, which I love Fleetwood Mac. They're one of my favorite bands. There is a past timeline in 1970s where there was a death, and then the current timeline you have 2 best friends. They're both writers. They reunite to both finish the books they're working on. We'll leave it at that. But you're going to have love, friendship, intrigue, mystery, 2 timelines, past and present. And I just thought this was so well done. And I don't understand why people don't like this one by her, because so solid, 5 stars. Then I read The Heiress. This one's another domestic-esque suspense. The Heiress gets compared to like the 7 wives or 7 husbands of Evelyn Hugo. So I can see the connection there. You have a very wealthy woman in North Carolina. She was kidnapped when she was a kid. She also has 4 husbands that are all dead. And we don't know why. She has an adopted son that she's giving her an inheritance to. We have twisted secrets in a strange family. And this book, I had no idea where it was going, and I loved where it went, and I thought it was so well done, 5 stars. And then, like I said, The Storm, I've made it like 2 chapters in, so I can't even speak to it yet, but this one, we have a local girl in Alabama that was accused of murder in one timeline. We have a current timeline, present day timeline, where there's an inn called the Rosalie Inn that is really struggling to be successful. This part of Alabama is hit by hurricanes after hurricane after hurricane. I have heard that the hurricanes in this book are almost a character of their own. But the local girl that was accused of murder, she returns home to clear her name with a like true crime writer who's trying to write a story about what truly happened. So it sounds really good. I'll keep you guys posted in February. I know I didn't plan on reading that. That was a January read I never got to, but I'm finally now reading it. So, love her. Okay, the last author that I've read to zero. She is one of my all-time favorite authors, and it's Abby Jimenez. The queen of romance. I will read everything she writes. I don't care what it is. She has 8 books out and 3 novellas, and I have read even the novellas. I have read everything to zero. I cannot wait for her 2026 release. What's interesting personally for me with the Abby Jimenez is all the male characters, like the leads in each of her book, remind me of my husband in one way or another. They have some kind of quality that my husband has, And it's just crazy to me. It's just crazy to me. I don't know if that's why I love her romance so much, because I can relate. But with Abby, you're going to get more than just a rom-com. You're going to get temporary romance, but you're going to get heart, humor, real hard world issues. Her characters are always emotionally rich. They're always layered. They are always relatable. You watch her characters walk through some hard things in their lives, like anxiety, grief, infertility, familial obligations that kind of wreck your world, your current life. You're always going to get good romantic tension and excellent chemistry. These always feel emotionally honest to me. They always feel like the chemistry, the on-the-page chemistry is always tense and engaging. You also get cozy settings. They feel heartfelt. It's definitely spicy, sweet romances, but with deeper emotional arcs. And she is amazing. So she has a couple different series. So I'll try to walk you through those. So the first one I want to talk about is the Friend Zone series. There's 3 books. It includes The Friend Zone, which is 5 stars. It's friends to lovers. It's got infertility in it. Then the next one in that little series, so all the characters are in each other's books, but the side characters from the Friend Zone, they get their own book. So that's kind of how it's the same world. In 2020, she came out with the Happily Ever After playlist, 5 stars again. This is going to be more of a second chance romance, but you're going to have unexpected love. There is loss of a fiance, an adorable dog, music, grief. So with the Friend Zone, the main character, male character in that one, he is funny and sarcastic, which is just like my husband. And the Happily Ever After playlist, my husband plays the guitar and he plays it well. And he actually played the guitar and sang to me as a senior in high school in front of the entire high school. And it was so romantic. And every single girl was crying in that audience, including myself. And then 2021, Life's Too Short. This one is about a travel vlogger. She has a hereditary illness. It's definitely an opposites attract romance. And what living to the fullest truly means. And it was great. 5 stars. You're going to hear me say that a lot with Abby Jimenez. Then there's the Part of Your World series. In 2022, she came out with Part of Your World. This is a story about an ER doctor and a carpenter who owns a farm. And guess what my husband does? He works with wood. He actually made this. He etched this into wood. He can build me tables and chairs, and he likes to work with wood. And so he's kind of a carpenter. Another tie. I wasn't joking about that. But in Part of Your World, you get a lot of class differences, a lot of family drama, personal growth. There's adorable baby goat. Daniel and Alexis are in this one, and Daniel might be my favorite male Abby Jimenez character. I think. Ask me on another day, that might change. Then she came out with, in 2023, Yours Truly, and this one is more enemies to lovers. It's a workplace romance. You have, our main female lead is Brianna in this one. This one talks about healing after loss. There's anxiety in this one, emotional vulnerability, and trusting again after heartbreak. And it was so good. The anxiety representation in this book, and I'm sure you've probably heard others say that, is spot on, and it's accurate, and it's so well written. Absolutely loved it. And then Same World 2024, just for the summer. This one is more of a summer fling, fake dating trope. We have 2 people that are trying to break these dating curses. The male in this story, he has to kind of take care of his siblings because his mom's kind of a hot mess. My husband's an excellent father. So there was that connection there for me as a reader. This one talks a little bit about fears of commitment, self-discovery, joy past the pain. Again, some really hard, heavy, realistic topics. It's not just fluff and romance. And then there's the Say You'll Remember Me series, 2025, her most recent release, which I absolutely loved. It was in my top books of last year. And This one, you have a handsome veterinarian. My husband's not a veterinarian, so doesn't count there. But you have long distance, you have long distance dynamics, you have courage, family needs, not giving up on love, even when it's not easy. You know, you have to work at it. You have to work at a relationship. And when you truly love someone, you fight for them. You don't let that relationship go. And that is also reminiscent of my husband. So enough personal about me, but I just think it's so fascinating that I wanted to share. And then in March, you guys, in 2 months, we get a new Abby Jimenez. The Night We Met. This one's going to be friends to lovers. This one is going to be two people that have a shared history, a little bit of forbidden romance because she's currently dating someone, but she has been in love, I think, with his like best friend and never like said anything about it. So I'm sure it'll be great. I have given, like I said, everything 5 stars by her. I've tried not to, and I just can't. She's just amazing. She is just amazing. So there you go. That is the end of part 1. Those are the authors I have read to zero, and some of my favorite, my auto-buy authors. I will read everything they publish unless something drastically happens and I stop liking their books, but I don't see how that would happen. So I hope you enjoyed this. Have you read any of these authors? Do you feel the same way as I do about their stories and their writing? And I'm just so impressed by these writers. Who are your authors that you've read to zero? I would love to hear. I would love to chat down below with you guys. And I will be back with part 2 to tell you all the other authors that I want to read to zero as a goal sometime during my life. I'll see you guys soon in my next video. Bye.